Hello, my name is Keith Warburton, and I'm joined here today by my colleague Vidya Subramanian, who's our senior consultant in India. I'm the CEO of Global Business Culture, and we're doing a series of short videos just exploring some of the challenges which our Western clients say that they face when they're working with teams in India. And today, what we're going to be exploring in a bit of depth is the issue of prolonged silences within meetings. So one of the comments that we get made to us by American and European clients of ours is that when they're in a meeting with teams in India, there are questions will be asked, but then there are long silences before anybody answers, and maybe nobody answers at all, which is perplexing for people in the West. So, what's happening when that happens? Again, I don't know, maybe you'll say, no, that never happens. But if it does happen, Vidya, why does it happen?
It happens a lot, Keith. It even happens if it's an India only meeting. So there could be a number of reasons why this happens. One could be that the people are just reflecting on the question that's asked and need some time to frame an answer that sounds appropriate. Remember that face saving is important here. So people don't want to say something that makes them look incompetent, or that it was a trivial remark. So there could be some reflection going on. The second could be that the people involved in this meeting are very senior. They could be senior people on the India side or the Western side, and people often question, is this the right place for me to say something? Maybe I should wait for the right opportunity. So there's that thinking that's going on. The third could just be that they don't have an opinion really yet, or they don't know the answer to what's being asked. And so it just seems like it's better to be quiet right now and hope that somebody else will take it. So these things tend to happen.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting when you say there that there might be senior people in the room. So, what is the impact of having senior people in the room on those people who are more junior within the meeting?
The main thing is respect for hierarchy. So people who are senior are always looked at as authority figures, you look up to them. And when a question is being asked, a lot of people, the junior members in India particularly, they want to hear what the leader has to say first. They don't want to say something that's not in alignment with what the leader might say. Don't want to step on someone's toes, don't want to be disrespectful. And therefore, they always wait, if the leader is present, for the leader to speak first. And then, if needed, one or two people may add something.
Would that also apply to the leader of the Indian team if on the Western side, the person they're in a meeting with is more senior than the leader in the Indian team? Would that make the Indian leader also reticent to speak?
It can, particularly if a relationship hasn't been established yet and they're nervous about how they might appear or what image might be built of the leader themselves and their team, they may be more cautious. But if they do have a good relationship with that senior leader, they are likely to be more open. But the same issue can happen to a leader or a junior member.
And so when we explain these issues to clients in the West, um, they'll say, "Well, that's really interesting, Keith. We didn't know that, but what can we do about it? How can we over? Because this is a problem for us. We want people to participate. How can we overcome this? So, are there any techniques that people in the West can use to encourage greater participation?"
Sure. I mean, first of all, like I said, that relationship is important. India team members feel much more comfortable to open up, to speak, to share their opinions with someone that they know and that they can trust. And so that can be the first step towards this. Like, continue to invest in getting to know people so they become more comfortable. But also in every meeting, just invite participation, ask questions. I mean, if the meeting's happening remotely, you could also use some other methods like ask a poll question or tell people to put something in the chat, maybe something like that. But if none of that works, then I would say leaders do have to be open to offline possibilities, such as connecting with people one on one separately after the meeting or asking people to maybe use an email. If you had questions or suggestions, you can email me after the meeting. What it does is it removes immediate pressure. It also allows people time to reflect because sometimes people want to think through something before they can share something.
Yeah. Again, I think the challenge there very often in the West, and I think especially in the USA, is that that just adds to the timeline.
Yes.
And in the US, we're terribly time pressured. We're going to get a resolution to this. I don't want to have to come back to this. But that
Yeah.
is just something I think that Western leaders just need to accept is the reality of working with India. And
Absolutely.
one of the things that I've found over the years working with clients on this is, and this has been said to me time after time by people in the States, in Europe, they've said that, I have been working with this team in India for a while and it wasn't going great. And then I went and spent a week there with them. And I spent a week in the office with them. We went out for dinner. We had a couple of beers together. And
Yeah.
everything suddenly seemed to change after that. And all these
Yeah.
people who wouldn't speak in meetings, suddenly they're very happy to speak to me in meetings. And I think that just shows the importance of that relationship building. And it's difficult to build relationships over a Zoom or a Teams call. It's a
It
lot
is.
easier if you actually go out there and meet people. And, from a budget perspective, that's not always possible. But if it is, I think you get massive returns on that investment. Okay,
100%.
Vidya,
Yeah.
thanks very much. Again,
Thank
an
you.
interesting discussion, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
See you. Thank you.